What's going on? What's going on, guys? It's your boy Official Go Getter coming at you guys with another video, man. This one's a little different. So this one, I'm gonna be reacting to a clip of my boy Chris Sane. I watched Chris Sane, Wall Street Trapper, and Earn Your Leisure, Ian Dunlap. Right, those are the guys that I get my investor philosophy from, and he says something that I think that we all can hear. So I'm just gonna play the video and I'm gonna react to it because it resonates with me. I'm gonna give my 2 cents. Once again, give me about 10 to 12 minutes, right? If we push it, 15 is the latest, but I don't want to give you 15, man. I want to do this in 12 minutes and make this valuable, but to the point, right? Let's do it.
Below. Okay, if you're in your 20s, here's a thing that I need to make sure you're doing. The younger you are, the better it will be. Okay, you get started early. Time is your greatest asset. It's better than any of these things I'm gonna teach you today. But if you're in your 20s, you need to be investing between 10 and 15%. That need to be the rate in which you invest in. So for example, if you go to your job and you have a 401k plan, a retirement plan, or anything of that nature, you need to allocate 10 to 15% because listen to this. You don't miss money you never see. If you get in the habit out the gate, getting it going to your future self, which we call retirement, but you're going to thank your future self. Okay, that's how I want you to look at this. I'm preparing my future self to live a life of luxury when that time comes. So I'm gonna set aside 10 to 15% in my 20s so that I already know this money is out of sight, out of mind, but working on my behalf, and my older self is gonna thank me when I get to that time. Okay, if you are in your 30s though.
All right, straight to the point. I'm gonna stop it right there, man. And this resonates with me a lot. This is why I wanted to talk about this, because these are the guys that I get my philosophy from, man. And I've been watching these guys since I was 18. So when it comes down to it, how it clicked for me when it comes down to investing is I realized that it's a cheat code the earlier you start. And then it's a cheat code when you widen out your range. So just like with trading, man, we want to have the consistent income, something that brings us income quickly, right? But you need to take that money and put a percentage of it away. So say you have $400 in trading profits this week, or 4,000, right? You take 10% of that, 400, 10% of 400, what is that? $40, and 10% of 4,000, 400. So you would take that and you put that away, right? It's money that you're not gonna miss, 10 to 15%, and you grow that over time. We're in our early 20s. That's why I wanted to touch on this one, because a lot of us were in our early 20s, and a lot of us investing isn't really glamorized. It's not something that is very sexy, I would say, but you guys need to see the value in it. This is what kind of makes it sexy. This is how it became something that was glamorized to me, because you're not thinking about the now, you're thinking about the future, right? So right now, with me being 21, man, I set 10 to 15% of my money aside, whether it's my trading profits or even when I was working the job from my job, right? No matter what income I get, I set 10% of that aside so I can set myself up at 30, 40. Because what we've been taught to do is turn it around. Live your life. What do we hear? Oh, live your life. You only live once. You're 20 years old. You should be having fun. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, right? I think that it's easy to have fun right now. It's easy to do the things that we don't need to do. But what it is to really do is reverse it. It's kind of hard to reverse engineer it. So what I think everybody should do is forget having fun right now, right? Forget having the designer clothes right now. Forget having money right now. Why do you need money right now in your 20s, man? Like, in your younger 20s. Build yourself up, right? Build yourself up for 5 years and then use that money to do what you want. You got to sacrifice, because what good is it to have things if you're not in a position of real freedom? So why don't you set yourself up to that point, how I thought about it for myself, right? Why don't I just, because either way I'm still going to see progress. So why don't I just focus on saving 10 to 15% of my money, so then I can ensure that I have freedom at 30 years old, right? I have money working for me at 30 years old, and it's assets at 30 years old. I could do whatever I want at 30 years old. And granted, along the way, you learn skills that pay you along the way, so then you can actually attain that freedom as well, such as trading, right? Such as maybe monetizing your Instagram, maybe building digital products, whatever it is, right? You learn those skills, and then that'll bring you that consistent money along the way. But we should always be focusing on putting 10 to 15% of our money away for our future, right? So you got to zoom out instead of thinking about, oh, how can I get rich as quick as I can? No, how can I ensure that I'm wealthy in the future? How can I ensure that? How can I ensure that I'm wealthy in the future? So I took the time to study wealthy people's habits, right? And the first thing we can touch on is the fact that wealth, the definition of true wealth, if you look it up, the definition of wealth is an abundance of valuable an abundance of valuable possessions or money. So the definition of wealth, an abundance of valuable possessions or money, right? And you can look that up. So with that being said, it doesn't just say that money is the only valuable possession, right? Or money. And if I'm being real, based off the economic system and how it works in our world, money may be the least valuable thing, which is why we take this physical money, the paper dollar, whatever it is, and we put it into assets, which are valuable possessions that grow over time, right? So you need to stop focusing on living a lavish lifestyle while we're young. Why would you? It doesn't even make sense. We don't even have time to really build a sustainable root or sustainable foundation. Not saying that you can't have money, but focus on building your sustainable foundation, because what good is it to have cars, girls, living a lavish lifestyle in your 20s if you can't do it in your 30s, 40s? Because honestly, like, that's what matters truthfully. Because when you get to your 30s, when you get to your 40s, when you get to your late 20s, you get to see who's really been taking care of themselves and who really hasn't. Right? So, do you want to be somebody who's been taking care of themselves mentally, physically, and financially? Because wealth comes in all angles. Wealth isn't just money. You got to be mentally wealthy. Are you really feeding stuff into your mind every single day? Are you slowly compounding that? Are you learning something new? Are you watching a podcast? Are you reading a book? Right? Are you joining new groups to make sure you're interacting with different people and expanding your mind? Physically, are you working out in the gym? Right? Are you making sure that if you're not working out in the gym, you're taking your walks, you're maybe getting your runs outside, you're doing something that you can do to make sure you're eating healthy and making sure your body is staying fit? Right? Then we get to the financials. Right? Are you putting 10 to 15% of your money away? Are you learning more about financial literacy? Right? Are you applying the things that you're reading? Are you applying the things that you're learning? Right? Are you building things that could set you up for wealth? Are you trying to monetize your own stuff? Are you trying to make your own money? Right? Or are you just backing off somebody else and letting them pay you because something Wall Street Trapper says, if you allow them to feed you, you allow them to starve you. So you got to find a way to feed yourself. You got to find a way to feed yourself. So that's my philosophy, man. When I was 18, 20, now I'm 21. All I'm thinking about right now is my version of me in 5 to 7 years. How can I set that version of me up for future success? How can I make sure that he has the money and he has the freedom and skills to go wherever he wants to go, right? I compound my trading skills. I compound my personal brand. I compound my investments, right? I compound my relationships to ensure myself at 27 is in the greatest position he's ever been in, right? I'm doing the things at 21 to make sure that at 30 he doesn't even have to think, right? He doesn't even he's got it rolling. He's already got it rolling, and that's the beauty of it, right? You got to be able to think like that. You got to widen out, have that delayed gratification, and then have fun with the process of the progress. I enjoy this part. I enjoy being like, man, you know, my version at 18, he set himself up for my version at me at 21. My version at 21, man, I'm gonna set myself up for my version at 25. My version at 25, I'm gonna set that version up for my version at 30. Stop thinking about the now. Your habits are going to lead to your future. I can look at somebody's habits right now and know, okay, this person is gonna be somewhere in 5 to 10 years. Or this person is going to be somewhere in the next 2 years, whatever it is, as long as they stay consistent. That's the thing with this. Consistency. This is why I say compound effect. This is why we talk about 10 to 15%, because it's money that you're not missing. It's not money that, I'm not asking you to put 50% of your money away. I'm asking you to put $10 away if you get $100. I'm asking you to put $100 away if you get 1,000. Right? And then you got to keep your bills low. You got to have skills over bills, assets over liabilities. You got to have things working more for you, and you got to be able to sacrifice than the things that aren't working for you and the things that you just want. So I believe I touched on everything, but I think that we all just needed to see this video, and it touches to my heart because this is my plan. This is my philosophy. Literally, I stick to this. I know that I set myself up at 27, right? I know that I set myself up in 5 years, right? You stick to a plan for 5 years. There's no way that it doesn't work. That is math. So, are you gonna bet on yourself? That's my question to you guys, to my fellow people who are in your 20s, man. Are you gonna bet on yourself? Are you gonna continue to keep making the same dumbass mistakes? Are you gonna continue to put yourself in a position where you're caring about things that don't matter over the things that do matter? Let's give it an example, right? So, this is what assets over liabilities mean. Are you gonna continuously take that $100 on the weekend and go spend it hanging around your friends, knowing that it's not helping you get to where you want to go, right? First, the money you put is a liability. Now the time you put is a liability when you could have put that money into a stock, right? And then sacrifice that weekend, and then also sacrifice that weekend studying on how to make sure that studying in the Discord to understand stocks and crypto more, right? So then you can actually change your future and have the direction of, okay, understanding where you want to go, understanding where to put your money, and understanding why you need to put your money in these places, right? Then a liability would be, okay, instead of me taking that money once a month, that 250 to 300 once a month, and buying shoes or an outfit, let me just sacrifice that for a month, right? Maybe let me start with doing once every other month. So now I have $300 and maybe I have $600 in 2-3 months because I sacrificed the instant gratification for the delayed gratification. So what are you going to sacrifice, man? You got to sacrifice your instant gratification for your delayed gratification. I told you guys I was going to do it in 12 minutes, right? So that's the end of the video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope this helps somebody, right? But it's your boy Fisher Go Getter. I'm out.
Okay, say you a little bit behind the 8 ball and you're in your 30s now. You